Hey everyone, I'm going to do something a little different here. I usually do movie reviews, but I've said in the past that I was going to do reviews of WWE programming, Elimination Chamber, the Sunday, Raw, following weeks. But what I'm going to do now, excuse me, something called the State of the WWE, and my thoughts on everything that's going on and that will go on that I think leading up to WrestleMania. And the main reason I'm doing this is because I'm keeping very good track of all this because I'm actually going to WrestleMania this year. I will be just above the floor, just facing towards the entrance, so it should be awesome. And anybody that's gone before that watches this, please let me know what your experience was because I've never gone to WrestleMania. I've been to Raw, been front row for Raw before, but never been to WrestleMania. And if it's an experience like I think it is, I'm probably going to go every year. But on to the state. First thing I'll talk about is the one thing that everybody is going to talk about leading up to WrestleMania. Any wrestling fan is going to talk about this leading up to WrestleMania. And that is who The Undertaker is going to face. He returned 2 weeks ago when Triple H was in the ring and trying to fire Laurinaitis. And he basically issued the challenge to Triple H. And there was an article on a website that I read, and I'll give a shout out to it. There's a website called WrestleZone.com that a lot of people do know about it, but any of you that don't, definitely gives a thumbs up to that website because it gives me all my wrestling news and lets me keep up with everything outside of watching it on TV. I do like that he issued the challenge to Triple H instead of the other way around. Because usually it's, of course, you've seen Shawn Michaels in 25 and 26 issued the challenge, and Triple H did for 27, and it's always been issued to Undertaker, never flipped. And it seems like almost like they're desperate for Undertaker to retire, which I do believe he'll retire 20-0, so it doesn't matter who he faces, whether it's a rumored Brock Lesnar, whether Triple H gives in. I don't think Shawn Michaels will come back. I don't think he'll come back and wrestle. I think he'll come back in another role like Stone Cold did in the past, but I do not think he'll wrestle. But for a lot of you that don't know this, Undertaker did shave his head over the summer. So I think he did that because I honestly think he's going to come back for a new look, some new look for his last run. And for a lot of people that don't believe me, there's an article on WrestleZone about it. He was actually wearing a wig on Raw 2 weeks ago, and he has been in the videos too, and that's why it was showing him cutting his hair last week, or this past Monday, was because he's coming back bald. Now I'm hoping that this plays out well, and that somebody comes back and challenges him, but I have a feeling that it's going to be Triple H that just eventually gives in and says, fine, I'll do it. Now we'll see how that plays out in the next couple weeks. The promos have been excellent, and you can tell that Vince really put his money into these promos, because they've been great. Undertaker's played his role very well. It's all been awesome. Triple H's speech to Shawn Michaels on Monday was great. Shawn Michaels and Triple H are always awesome in the ring together, whether it's DX facing each other, whatever. They're always awesome in the ring together. So we'll see how that plays out leading up to WrestleMania. The second thing is Chris Jericho and CM Punk. Fun one here. Chris Jericho and CM Punk. Now, when Chris Jericho came back, I was very, very excited for this. And the reason why is because Chris Jericho is an excellent, excellent heel. I really believe he is. But I'm not very excited with his heel persona right now. He seems to be using this wannabe word a lot. He's not the same Chris Jericho he was years ago when he used to just make fun of people. I understand he wants his best in the world title back. But instead of calling everybody wannabes, he needs to prove that he's the best in the world, which CM Punk has done. I'm a huge CM Punk mark. I'm really looking forward to seeing him wrestle live at WrestleMania this year against Chris Jericho. Or even this Sunday on pay-per-view, because I honestly think those two will be the last in the ring together. We'll get to see a preview of WrestleMania before it actually happens, I believe. And the third thing is Laurinaitis and CM Punk. They really haven't issued that lately, but with Laurinaitis keeping his job, I think it'll start up again. I think Laurinaitis will be in the corner of Chris Jericho. Or have something to do with it at least. Now, I didn't care for Laurinaitis actually keeping his job, and I know a lot of people are petitioning for him to lose his job. And that's a question that you guys can answer for me, anybody that watches this. If Laurinaitis does have to step down, who do you want to take his place as the GM of Raw? I want to replace Teddy Long too, and I just think whoever does the one for Raw should do both and combine the shows again. It seems a lot better with it being the Super Show now, like it has been for the last couple months. We could also see the return of Vince in this whole thing, because CM Punk could be the new Stone Cold to Vince, just like he is to Laurinaitis. The fourth and final thing I'll talk about before I get to the pay-per-view this weekend is John Cena versus Kane. The stuff that's been happening with that lately. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I do like the fact that they're trying to hint at John Cena turning heel, but if he does turn heel, we all know that he's going to get booed in Miami. I mean, come on, it's The Rock's hometown. If The Rock gets booed in Miami, then this world's just going. I mean, and then The Rock won't get booed in Miami. I know that. So John Cena, that may end up being John Cena's full heel turn. Won't be until WrestleMania 28. When he hears all those boos in Miami, he may just finally snap. But I am excited for the ambulance match this weekend simply because it might actually be able to show how aggressive John Cena can actually get. And as much as I don't like John Cena, I did like how he went off on Jack Swagger, and I did like how he beat the hell out of him, and it really showed aggression when he did to Kane and everything. When he was about to put him through the table, I like the look in his eyes, like it's almost like a Randy Orton-esque thing, and I like that a lot because I really hope he stays that character because I like him. But where does Kane go after that? Where does Zack Ryder go after this storyline's over? Because they're both going to get buried because of The Rock coming back. So I don't know where they're going to go with the storyline. Just like WrestleZone said, I think it's going to be a waste. I really do. I'll get to the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view this Sunday. And as I said, the first, I talked about the ambulance match with John Cena and Kane. If this is anything like the ambulance match between Shane McMahon and Kane, then I really do think it'll be a good match because I like the Shane McMahon and Kane match. I really thought it was good, and I'm really hoping that John Cena and Kane can pull this off. From what I saw last Monday, I kind of wonder if Zack Ryder's not faking his injuries, because he got up out of he was supposed to have a broken back, which I know all this is fake, but it's part of the storyline. He was supposed to have a broken back, and he got up out of that wheelchair pretty easy for somebody having a broken back. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if he was faking his injuries, and he got up and basically screwed John Cena out of the match and helped Kane. But I don't see where they go as a heel from here for him because Zack Ryder, I just can't see Zack Ryder as a heel. His woo you know what thing. I love that. I love how goofy he is because Santino's over the top goofy. Zack Ryder is a lovable goofy type character, and I like him. I do, and I don't want to see him turn heel. I was looking this up so I don't get this wrong. I was missing, let's see. The first Elimination Chamber match on Raw is CM Punk versus Jericho versus Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz versus R-Truth versus Kofi Kingston. This is a solid Elimination Chamber. Because CM Punk and Chris Jericho both have the technical skills, and so does Ziggler. The Miz and R-Truth are more of aggressive fighters, and Kofi Kingston is very airborne. So there's a mix of all different kinds of wrestlers in this match, and I really like that because I think it could pull off a very good match. Now what they could do is they could have a surprise, and they could have like The Miz or Kofi Kingston win this, maybe lose it later, but because CM Punk and Chris Jericho doesn't necessarily have to be for the title. It could just be for the best in the world title, it's not a real title, it's, what I'm talking about. The second Elimination Chamber match is not looking good to me at all. It's the SmackDown one, of course. It's Daniel Bryan, Wade Barrett, Cody Rhodes, Khali, Big Show, and it was supposed to be Randy Orton. Now Randy Orton's out. This past Monday when Daniel Bryan hit him with the belt, he got a concussion. Randy Orton's now out. And if I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody, but the person that they're having come in, if you don't know yet, not good. The only one I could see, it's going to be obvious that it's not going to be the Big Show winning this because the Big Show is supposed to face Shaq. It's a rumor that he's supposed to face Shaq at WrestleMania this year with the whole thing that happened last year with the guest thing. There's really only two people that could win this, I'm seeing. It's either Daniel Bryan retains and Sheamus faces him at WrestleMania, or Wade Barrett could, which I could see that happening because Sheamus and Wade Barrett didn't they have a couple months ago? I think they had a little thing. So I could see Wade Barrett versus Sheamus. So I could see Wade Barrett winning this. But I'm not a huge Wade Barrett fan. And Cody Rhodes just isn't ready for it. And Khali as champion, we saw that a couple years ago. We all know that's not going to work. The only other match that's been announced other than that is Beth Phoenix versus Tamina Snuka. And I'm really hoping Tamina wins because I like her as a female wrestler, loved her dad as a wrestler. But I just don't care for the Divas matches at all. Other than Kelly Kelly, none of them are really anything to look at. I could see Karma coming back and maybe doing something to Tamina to where Beth keeps her title and this sets up a match for Karma and Beth Phoenix at WrestleMania, which could be good because Karma's actually got skill. She came back early this year as at Royal Rumble, if anybody knew. There's only 4 matches announced, though, but that's because the pay-per-view's 3 hours long, and the Elimination Chambers themselves are usually about an hour a piece, so that's 2 hours covered right there. But, I mean, it's a solid card between John Cena versus Kane and the Raw Elimination Chamber. I just don't know if I want to see how the Elimination Chamber for SmackDown turns out. Because anybody that sees SmackDown tomorrow night, Friday night, will see that I don't like it. Now, as far as WrestleMania goes, I could see the card being Undertaker versus Triple H, CM Punk versus Jericho. For the title, not for the title, doesn't matter. It's just going to be a great match, I believe. The Rock versus John Cena. Money in the Bank match is rumored to come back this year, so I'm hoping, because I really want them to give Kofi Kingston a push, because he can wrestle. His Trouble in Paradise, and he's a good technical wrestler. I mean, he's a good high flyer, and I think they should give him a chance, if not with a world title, at least with Intercontinental title or something. Give him something, because he's a good wrestler. I just don't know what's going to happen with Kane. I mean, he could face The Undertaker, but that wouldn't make any sense to him switch from turning John Cena heel to facing Undertaker. I could see Triple H giving in finally, but I'm not too sure about that. Overall, I'm liking the state of the WWE right now. It's a very solid program at the moment. It got boring for quite a few months, years almost. And I could watch some of the segments, but the matches weren't so great. I don't watch SmackDown because they don't have a solid roster on SmackDown at all. I think they need to do a draft. And what they need to do is, honestly, I know a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but they need to take the title off of Daniel Bryan. He's too, I'm trying to think of what the word is. He reminds me of Mysterio when Mysterio was champion, and there wasn't just enough threat to it. I mean, your champion doesn't have to be big, of course, because look at CM Punk. But CM Punk's a good enough high flyer technical wrestler to where he is a threat. I just don't see Daniel Bryan as a threat. Not right now, anyway. If he shows his skills, fine. Now, the CM Punk and Daniel Bryan match was great. If he can wrestle like that all the time, then keep the title on him. But I just don't see them keeping the title on him. I just don't think that he draws the ratings. I don't think that... He was good in Ring of Honor, of course, and his independent circuit. And they're giving him a push now, they are. But he really has to prove himself if he wants another shot later, because I know he'll lose the title eventually. But overall, it's a solid program. I know a lot of people will probably agree to disagree. I really want to hear your guys' comments on this, because as far as the WWE itself goes, right now it's keeping my interest right now. And with me wanting to go to WrestleMania, I'm hoping it can keep my interest, because if it drops my interest, I just spent $568 on WrestleMania tickets that I'm not sure I'd want to go to. But I will be there live to see Undertaker's last match, to see the John Cena versus The Rock, and to see CM Punk versus Chris Jericho. This was a very, very good WrestleMania to go to this year. And they just announced, or they're supposed to announce tomorrow, that WrestleMania 29 next year is actually going to be at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. So that'll be good. Hoping I can go, because it's close to one of my friends, and I'm hoping we can go together, because she couldn't go this year. And that's the last thing I'll do. I want to give a shout out to my friend Tracy. I live in Indiana, she lived in Delaware, so it's very hard. We met through a message board. We both end up finding out that we both love WWE, love this girl to death. She's amazing in every way possible. So I want to give a shout out to her and say hi, Tracy, hoping that we can go to WrestleMania together next year. Now when anybody that wants to watch, or anybody that does watch this, please give me your comments and let me know what you think is good about the WWE right now, what you think is bad, and I'll comment back. Thanks, guys.